God.
I don't have. I still can't join in with this.
Just get a fan. It doesn't even have to be one of the clacky ones.
Not the clacky ones. Anyway, this
You're
is
like
a
a
shit
little
show.
electric fan.
This is a shit show waiting to happen because they gave me the reins tonight. Hello,
You
you're.
asked for
I
this.
didn't
I
give
know.
you a damn thing. You asked and I said, okay.
Well, Julia. Hello, everyone. Europe, Australia, Faroe Islands, and the world. Welcome to the CUP ESC, part of the currently unnamed podcast network where we put the real and the tea into ESC from top to bottom, honey. Tongue click. Right. That's something I can't do. I'm Lewis. I'm a UK gal here to talk Portugal, and
Not one of your best.
it's not one of my best, but I tried
No.
to rhyme with Portugal and it did not work. I'm excited to talk about this because, to be fair, I can't remember what I covered last year. I can't tell you if I covered
Not
Canção or
much.
not.
Not much.
Not much at all, but I definitely did not cover Festival da Canção, so I'm excited to delve into the world of Portuguese music. Very telling. There's definitely a certain brand that's going on here, and we'll get into it. But yeah, very excited. I'm currently drinking Coca-Cola Zero Sugar because sugar is bad for teeth.
And I am Anissa Long, also known as Sam Davey, also known as Anissa Long. You're a Torontonian flop who just loves K-pop. We'll go with that. Sure, I think that's the move. And in my lovely cup mug, I have some iced tea brought to you by peach iced tea brought to you by Peace Tea, because we no longer have Nestea in Canada anymore. For some reason they discontinued it.
That's wild.
That is
Yeah,
cool.
after so many years. So we're all trying to settle with alternatives like Peace Tea and Fuse.
Speaking of so many years, it's nice to finally see you again, bitch. Where have you been?
At work, in
Now
bed.
see, I wasn't about to go that far. Damn.
That was wild.
I'm
That
messing.
was
I am absolutely
wild.
messing.
If only
I am
Lewis was straight, then I could play this delightful clip from the Trust that we have on Backline. But
Oh, I.
And also, just like
anyway.
We should all aspire to have the confidence of a straight white man.
period. And if it is killing you slow, instead of cup mug, you could also get a cup bottle. Bottle. Anyway.
And hi everybody, it's Brooke, and I'm passionate about pop culture. This is also my first Festival da Canção, so I'm excited to be here. And so whatever, I am the most rural Appalachian bitch you will ever meet.
Yep,
and I'm
you're
trying
gonna
my
pronounce
best,
the national
okay?
anthem correctly.
And I'm trying my best. Beside the point, I am currently drinking a generic bottle of water. Thank you very much. And I'm just happy to be here to cover Festival da Ballad.
I mean,
Festival do Bucket.
You're acting like this is a brand new thing.
For me, it is.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the reality that is those of us that are experienced with Festival da Canção. We've been new what's going on here on this day. So
Festival da Bucket. I'm excited.
Now, I wouldn't say that.
I wouldn't say that either, but they certainly will.
I wanted to.
I'm looking for say something gay. Gay, who so far is very disappointed with this super Saturday. Thank you. I felt like I needed to go along with it today. But I'm currently drinking some cranberry lemonade because that's what I made.
Wonderful.
And there's no shade. Everglade. I don't know. That's the first thing I came
No
up
tea,
with.
no shade, no cranberry lemonade.
Period.
There you go. Slay. And hola,
Played.
I am Eduardo, the Mexican representative of this podcast. I'm here to talk shit and get hit. I don't know what rhyme to do. I'm a Mexican twink that
Anissa's been gone so long they
blinks.
didn't
I
know
don't
what that
fucking
was.
know, girl. I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know what rhymes with twink. Anyways, unlike Brooke, I think this national final was just made in the lab for me, perfectly like made in the lab for me.
Notorious ballad lover Eduardo.
The thing is, we've been known that I am a big fan of Portugal. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. And there is a certain type of ballad that I like, and Portugal is proficient at making them. Therefore, I'm having a wonderful time, girl. I'm having a wonderful time.
It's a great time, gal.
They got me, gal.
Well, let's get into it. Before we do that, if we do all sorts of stuff here on the CUP network. So if you're a fan of Drag Race, we do everything drag over on the CUP pod. If you're a fan of all things reality TV, go check out the CUP TV, where they're currently covering
a lot of things. I'm not going to name them all. It's gonna take too long.
Lovely.
Yeah,
all that stuff. The CUP ringside, if you're a fan of WWE, there's a lot of WWE things happening over there. And also, we mentioned the CUP bottles and the CUP cups. So please go to largecreations.etsy.com if you want to buy any of our merchandise. We do ship domestically in the United States as well as internationally. So there are no excuses. Right.
It feels weird having a British person say that. Like, it's not domestically for you.
Right.
Also, you don't even have one, Lewis.
Right.
Exactly. Harpo, who's this man?
Anyway. Yes, Festival da Canção, all of us have listened to the selection that Portugal is providing us this year. We have ranked from 12 points to 1 point based on the Eurovision score system. We are going to honorably mention 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, and then get into our top 13.
I thought it was top 6 and above, so it would have been 6 of them we're not mentioning.
It's top 14. There's a tie for 13th.
Yes.
Yes. Right. With that being said, let's get right into it. So, our honorable mentions for Festival da Canção, we have Do Nothing with the song I'm going to butcher every single song title. Sobre Nós. 3 points given to Do Nothing by Eduardo. We have Bombazine with Apago Tudo. Thank you. 3 points from Brooke there. We have Margarita Campello with
You might as well just let me do the song titles, Lou.
Absolutely, please.
Right.
And we have Tota with
Ateshi,
who received 5 points from Anissa.
Wonderful.
We start because I didn't give any of these songs any points. I am the only one that didn't give any of these songs any of these points. I think all of these songs are fine. They are acceptable songs. They existed lower on my ranking than most other songs here. Though I will say, Bombazine was actually my 11th. So it was fun. That's all I'm going to say. Y'all have fun.
Well, while on the subject of Bombazine, since they've already been brought up, they were my 8th in this selection, and I did give them 3 points. Long story short, I just really like the instrumental on this. I think it's a really nice groove. It provided so much variety in the selection that was loaded with ballads, so I really enjoyed it. That's about it.
I don't know. Go ahead, Eduardo.
Not all of you at once.
Yeah, this is wild. Anyways, I was just gonna say, since I'm the only one that gave Do Nothing points, I'll talk about him. I just was shocked by his voice. Like, I was not expecting that gravelly, deeper voice to come out of that face. So I was shocked. I was gagged. I was gooped, and I enjoyed my time listening to that song. That's it.
I'm trying to like differentiate my notes. I think just generally across the board, I found most of these quite middle of the road, quite not that they're not dynamic. Just by the end of the song, I was left wanting more. I will say Margarita because I did give Margarita points. There was something quite gospel with Margarita's song that I really enjoyed. So yeah, I love a little gospel moment.
Yeah, I'm very happy you gave Margarita points because Margarita was actually my 11th. For the same reasons that you mentioned. But I also gave 5 points to Ateshi. I thought I really enjoyed the vibe of it all. It gave me like you're stuck in a desert kind of thing. And a mirage comes out of nowhere. She's such a no.
No.
I thought they had a really cool voice. I thought all the harmonies incorporated were really cool. It gave me like there's something that hits different with like the songs that make it to the grand final and get 14th place in particular. It gives me that energy of like top of the right side of the leaderboard.
Like Sylvester Bell.
Sentimente.
Yes.
As well. Like I don't know. I find that in that realm.
Not the bucket. Jesus.
That was not a bucket indicator. That was a dig your hole deeper indicator.
Oh. Anyway.
Right. As everyone said that piece, did we cover Bombazine?
I did.
Yes.
That was the first one we did.
Right. Okay. I'm losing the plot. That's fine. We'll move on now. We have a tie for 13th, so we'll start with Marco Rodrigues with Amina Casa.
Good job!
Thank you. There were 3 points given to this by Anissa, 3 points from me.
Why?
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, I'm confused.
Let me consult my notes.
No, that's more disrespectful than I mean it to be. Here's the thing. Festival da Canção is ballads. Like, that is typically what they send a lot of, and the winner is usually not a ballad. So, hey, at least they typically get it pretty right with not doing a ballad, and if it's going to be a ballad, it's Saudade. Icon, legend, diva, or grito, for that matter. I thought this song was perfectly lovely. He's got a lovely voice, but the song itself was a nothing burger for me. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think he has a pretty voice, and I think the piano in the song is also good. It's just that I feel like I've heard so many songs that are similar to this. Like, it does build on the second half with the drums, but it's missing that winning moment for me, and it just feels like I've heard it before.
Meh.
Not the bucket.
Not the bucket.
There will be many instances of the bucket today. This might be the most clear definition of the bucket, which is it's cute, it's fine, it's okay. Meh. Bucket. Like, what else do you want from me?
I'll go first. And say, between me and Louis.
Between the ones that actually gave points.
Right. Yeah. I thought he had a very beautiful voice. It gave me a very like sentimental kind of feeling. I really like some of the choices he makes melodically. He goes into some of the like chromatics when he sings in. He goes to a natural note when like the typical brain would think it would be like flat or whatever, but going into that chromatic natural kind of adds a bit of a a bit of a turn. I don't know how to explain it, but I just thought it was really cool. The drums kind of put me off it though. Mainly because I didn't like I thought it could have done better with like a typical drum beat rather than this like kind of syncopated drum beat.
Okay. Yeah, I liked it. There was something quite Disney movie montage about it that I actually quite kind of liked. Yeah, I found it quite emotion provoking. I can understand why people don't like it though. By no means my favorite, obviously. But yeah, there was something I found a lot more dynamic in this one than other songs that I did not give points to. All right. With that being said, let's move on to our second of our 13th places, also receiving 6 points. We have Inês Marques Lucas with Quantos Queres? Quantos Queres?
¿Cuántos quieres?
Thank you. We have 4 points here from Eduardo, and 2 points from me.
I will say I actually don't dislike this song at all, and overall for me, Festival da Canção is always a selection that I typically find I like a lot of the songs, and then there are songs for me that are kind of elevated above everything else. This for me, unfortunately, just fell into the like, it's a good song. Melodically, she sings it well. It's a good, decent song. My biggest problem, and hey, I've had this problem all season, I think there's just a little bit too much repetition towards the end of the song, and it doesn't really work for me super well. When you hear the same Cuantos Queres kind of like bars several times throughout the song, it just gets a little bit boring for me, but it's not a bad song by any means in the imagination.
Yeah, this was actually my 11th out of the selection. I will say this was my perfectly inoffensive of a selection as well.
You know, I think I would agree.
Yeah,
I'll agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, low-key beat, low-key vocal. I like that, and then it kind of ramps a little bit towards the end. Fine with me. I enjoyed it a lot more than I think I should have, but like I don't have anything negative to it, really.
Yeah, I'm very much copy paste with everything that Logan said.
Fair enough. I think the biggest winner in this song for me, I mean, no, I'm a sucker for this kind of stuff, but there was there was some effects on the vocal that I'm a sucker for a vocal effect, and there was a lot of vocal effects on this that I really, really enjoyed. Yeah, that's the main thing I made a note on, to be honest. Yeah, 2 points.
Okay, well, I thought the instrumentals was really, really interesting. I thought the beat was really good as well. I do wish her vocals were a little bit amped up because I think her vocal is a little bit drowned out by the instrumentals, like just a tad. But I think her range is good, and I think the vocals are good. There's something about the beat that kind of gives me old school Billie Eilish vibes if she were to make happier or like more up-tempo songs.
You know what? I'd see that.
Like maybe
I don't know if everyone does.
I'm not on that boat.
Fair enough.
Okay.
That boat looks shaky. It looks like it's not, not reinforced
That's
well.
absolutely fair.
I'm not gonna get on that boat.
It's more like a floating door for me. Like I'm on that.
But hey, you know what? I'm floating. I am floating.
Good for you, baby.
gliding.
Good for you. I'm glad that you are.
Yeah, it's just me though. Y'all are drowning around me. It's fine.
But hey, I'm kind of there.
You're my Jack. You're my Jack.
I'm
You're
your Jack.
on
You're
to
the
your life.
most to my Jack. Yeah. So true. Let's float on to our 12th place. Jéssica Pina with Calafrio. 7 points for Jéssica here. We have all 7 points coming from Logan.
And I'm ready to end this song with my life.
I will say it's not a bad song. It really isn't a bad song at all. I just feel like it's so niche. It's insanely niche to me.
I mean, Logan is the niche, apparently. I'm with
it.
Yeah.
It's just one of those that kind of fell there for me. This just so happened to be my 12th.
Okay.
Would you look at that?
This is quite low for me, unfortunately. I think it's just one of those songs that I tried to get into, and before the time I got into it, it had already passed. So
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, it's just a not for me thing, I think.
Yeah, I will say I think this is a good song. Even though I didn't give it any points, I think it's good. I think it's really vibey, and it has some very old school like bar like energy with the sax and the piano and the backup vocals, which I appreciate. This just isn't my favorite overall. It just is missing some dynamics and some drama for me, but I still see why people would like it, and I understand why you enjoy it, Logan.
Yeah, I actually didn't hate this. I actually also had it in 12th on the selection. My big issue with it, it's just not even remotely competitive. I don't see anything that it could do that's like, yeah, this could do really well. Like if this went, Portugal's not qualifying, and I'm sorry. It has nothing to do with her quality or anything. It's just this type of entry just doesn't connect with a lot of people, unfortunately. Love the jazz influence on this, and you can hear it throughout. I mean, I don't even want to say influence. It's basically just a jazz song, and I'm here for that. It's fine. It's totally serviceable. If it came on, I wouldn't change it, but I wouldn't send it to Eurovision. You know what I mean?
You know, even in being the only person that gave it points, I don't think I would send this to Eurovision either, because I do agree. I don't think it's the most competitive song. I think there are a lot of better options in this selection that could make Portugal really, really competitive this year again, which I think would be great. I just love Portuguese jazz. And that is something I've learned over the last couple of years at Festival da Canção. Like, anytime there is a good jazz entry, like, I still think back to one of my favorite songs in the national selection, Bispo with Casa Portuguesa. I still listen to that song regularly, and it's just good Portuguese jazz. Like, something about this, it gave me the energy of, like, Sade. I got some Solange in there. Like, those were the kind of, like, places that I was taken with this song. It hit me at a certain vibe, and I was just riding the vibe. I absolutely love this. I think her tone is so beautiful. I just really adored this song. Is it competitive? No, I do agree. But I just really enjoyed it enough to give it points.
Brilliant. Right, we're going to move on to our 11th place now. We have Emmy Curl with Rapsódia da Paz. We have 6 points coming from Logan, 4 points coming from Anissa, and a singular point from me.
Which means no points for me. I will say though, this is like, damn, not the bucket.
This is not a bucket-worthy song.
This is not a bucket-worthy song.
Yeah, this is not a bucket-worthy song.
I own the bucket.
This is my 11th place or like my 12th place. It was
okay, Marianne.
near.
I'll take that.
Yeah, it was near from getting points from me. I think it is an immediate attention grabber, and she does have a really nice voice and incredible range. I think the song with the choir feels grand, but I feel like the breakdown part or like the rappier part of the song kind of loses me a little bit. Honestly, like and also the masculine voice that shows up like halfway through also took me out of it a little bit, and it felt disconnected. Overall, I think the song has really high highs, but I also think the lows are really low, which is why for me I couldn't really bring myself to give it points, but I still like found a lot of things to enjoy about this song.
I'm glad you did. Bucket. Like if I listen to a song and I go and I can't immediately find anything that's like particularly remarkable to me, but I didn't hate it, it goes in the bucket. The bucket is not a bucket of bad songs. The bucket is the bucket of meh, and this is a bucket of meh. Like for me, and I'm not saying that you all for me, correct. For me, correct. Exactly, Anissa. Thank you. For me, meh. I can acknowledge that other people may like it more than I do and have valid reasons for doing so. it just didn't connect with me in any meaningful way.
Fair enough. Well, this production's loaded. That's definitely a word for it. Loaded with production. I love it. Sounds in parts like some sort of, I don't know, like a beckoning of like some sort of cult leader or a tribe leader, like kind of like commanding their people. I don't know. I don't know like what else to say. There was a part towards the end though where I was just thinking, is there too much going on? Is there too much going on? Is it too loaded? However, I wasn't offended by it in the slightest.
Yeah, I actually really enjoy. I really enjoyed this. I think I would know what you mean by the whole like cult thing or commanding.
I didn't know where.
I wrote something.
I knew what it meant, but I didn't know.
Words it better, but it gave me kind of like a march.
Right, sure. Yes, that's exactly what I'm looking for.
I think of like a high school band, like a good high school band. Sorry. Okay. I would like to clarify that. Yeah. I thought the electric guitar solo was a nice touch. I thought this like choir was a nice touch too. Like Eduardo, as you said, it made him feel a bit more grand. It was mainly the male voice and the rap verse that kind of took me off of it.
And see, that's what I like the most about this song, is that it does kind of go in a couple of different places. Melodically, I think it could strip back a little bit. I would maybe like to see more of the like call and response parts that we get towards the start of the song, because that's what I like the most. But I do like that this goes into several different places. I was constantly surprised listening to this song. I really appreciated kind of the way that it bounces around. The call and effect situation is just my absolute favorite part, and that in itself elevated it to getting 6 points from me. The beat is really cool. There's just a little bit too much repetition, but I think overall it's a really solid song. I'm happy with it.
Me too. Right, let's move on to our next tie of the evening. We have a tie for 9th place now. Let's begin with a Cantadeira with Responso a Mulher.
Mulher.
Mulher. I tried.
God, you're white.
I am so sorry. We have 2 points from Anissa. We have 5 points from Brooke, and I gave this 7 points.
And none from the people at the bottom. Wonderful.
And none from the people at the bottom. Yep.
These bottoms, I mean, really.
Okay, here's what I will say. I appreciate, because the title translates to responsibility to women. Love that idea. I think that's a lovely idea. The acapella intro, I actually really liked. The chanting is good. What completely threw me off is whatever horn instrumental happened like twice in the middle of the song. It just completely took me out of the fantasy. Like, I just wasn't a huge fan of that. Everything else about the song, I don't mind. It could have a little bit more complexity for me. But overall, I'm not like fundamentally upset at this song. I don't want it to win, but I'm not upset at this song.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this actually. Oh, sorry, Eduardo. Go first.
Fuck my drag. Okay.
My bad.
Listen.
So the way that we do this,
right? I know it's been a while.
In the order of who gave what points, and we've kind of been doing that for a little bit of time now in this video. So one would say,
my bad.
You know,
as you were saying,
anyway,
fellow bottom.
As I was saying, it's the complexity for me. I think that's exactly my issue with it. It is definitely missing some complexity for me, some dynamics. Like in the verses specifically, I think it's missing to have like that big extra moment. But I do think there's a lot about this that I do enjoy. I think the drums are nice and folky, and her voice has a really nice vibrato to it as well. I respect it a lot, and I did enjoy the song as well. It's dramatic and it was really different. It's just not complex enough for me, unfortunately. And so that's why I didn't give it any points.
Anissa.
Anissa, now you can.
Yeah, no, I just felt like after listening to all the entries, this kind of really stood out in its own way for me. And I mean that in a good way. In reference, contrary to the Belgium video. Yeah, this really stood out for me. I just think she has a really cool voice. I actually kind of liked. Okay, so I enjoyed kind of whatever instrument you're referring to, Logan. That was in the song, but I do agree also that it could have been dialed back as well.
It just feels weird. It felt weird to have a random instrumental from an instrument that we hadn't heard from in the song at that point. Like that's what threw me off about it.
Yeah, and I totally see that.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I also really enjoyed the chantiness of it. Like I really, especially in the bridge, I thought that was a really cool build up.
Yeah, for me, my biggest problem was actually the vocal. I kind of want the vocal to just be a smidge tighter and not like it's bad or anything. It's just like good, make it a little bit better, and we're in a really good spot here. The reason I gave it so many points is because I actually really liked the instrument that shows up, and I don't even know if it's a horn because it was like vaguely bagpipey.
I couldn't tell what it was. I couldn't tell what it was.
It kind of sounded bagpipey to me.
It's a Portuguese. It's a Portuguese kabinapkis.
It could be literally anything at this point. I have no idea. It sounded like an electronically pitched bagpipe, I'll be honest, but I'm fine with that. Electric bagpipes are a thing. Look it up. They're great. Beside the point. Yeah, I really think this was just a really good, like, nice entry all the way around. Slight request of improving on the vocal, but other than that, I have no major issues, which for me is a lot.
That is incredible. No, I love the drama in this song. The drama of the drum at the start, I really enjoy. I can really imagine cool staging for this. Love the sound of the choir joining in, the chanting. Production sounds really, really cool. It sounds, and this was the first song I listened to, so I made a note of saying it sounds really authentically Portuguese. And then I listened to the playlist and I thought, okay, that's not
welcome
really...
to Festival da Canção.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just nice to have music that sounds true to the country they're from, which we don't usually get at Eurovision. Yeah. Sweet. Let's move on to our second song in this tie. In ninth place, we have Napa with Deslocado. We have 1 point from Eduardo, 1 point from Logan, 4 points from myself, and 8 points from Brooke. So, Anissa, you might as well take the lead on this one.
Okay, well,
I didn't.
I didn't hate it. As my preface, I would like to say I did not hate this. I thought they had a nice voice. I thought the harmonies were really cool. I just felt like at the start, maybe like first half, it didn't go a lot of places for me, but I do enjoy how it picked up towards the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Eduardo, yeah.
I think this has a really nice like piano and guitar instrumental. It somehow feels like weirdly nostalgic for me, and it also feels very warm. And then it picks up with like the electric guitar and the harmonizing, which are I think really, really effective. I think Napa can go like surprisingly high on his range.
It's a group.
I don't know. I just saw one photo of the person. Well, the main singer can go particularly high on the range. Whatever. I don't know. This feels like big and pretty, and like it ends nicely with the slowdown. I don't know. I like it. Overall, a good song.
Yeah, so I think this group of 5 men singing this song is actually really good.
There you go. Whatever.
They're literally a group.
The lyric I thought was only one man, or there's a picture of only one.
No, there's 5 of them.
I must be confusing Napa with another.
Probably.
Anyways.
Yeah, I actually really agree with what Anissa said. In like the first part, I wasn't necessarily living. As soon as it comes in with that electric guitar and it kind of hits like the rock element of it, I was like, oh, like I was very pleasantly surprised with it. Y'all know I don't typically love rock or more rock-like entries at Eurovision. So I was really pleasantly surprised that I found this really enjoyable to listen to. I think what makes it for me is that their voices blend together really beautifully. And I hope that translates to the live stage.
Sweet. Yeah, I quite enjoyed this. I mean, I completely agree with the nostalgia effect with what Eduardo was saying. I made the comparison, and I'll say it. I think this is a modern take on like a Beatles kind of thing. Like,
Not the worst take I've heard you ever say.
You're,
right.
I thought
You're
it'd be worse.
Lewis, you're safe.
Okay.
Yeah, not like Portuguese, modern Portuguese Beatles. Okay,
Sure.
I've heard worse.
I will acknowledge that train.
Okay.
There is a path of logic that I can follow from that statement.
Correct.
Correct.
Well, I'm a fan of the Beatles, so I was going to be a fan of this. So,
yeah, I actually really like this. I'm a sucker for a good harmony. So if you are not aware of that, this is my zhuzh, this is my vibe, this is my jam. But also, I just think this is probably the best mixed song in this selection. I can't think of any song that had overall that was like, oh, the mixing on this is really nice, because I think they layered the instrumental here really well, and you're trying to balance the instrumental with the harmony with everything else that's going on in this song, and I think they did a really spectacular job with that. Now, again, production values in a live performance are very different, but based purely on the studio version of this song was delightful to me. I hope they do really well. I don't think they will, but I hope they do really well.
You never know with Festival. Like, Festival da Canção is one of the ones consistently where, like, genuinely whoever wins, it's like, oh, okay then. Work. Like, I don't think anyone expected Minicat to win a few years ago. I think going into it, no one really expected Yolanda to win last year. Like, there's definitely there's an element of surprise that often comes with Festival da Canção, which I always appreciate.
Yeah, the live performance always changes things, because I remember last year really liking Agua, and then the live performance didn't live up to the hype. So I was like, this is the time. This is the national final where that kind of happens the most.
And the Portuguese people are very, very good at sending the best quality song that is performed on the stage. They are one of the few countries where I am always confident that whatever they are going to send is quality.
Right, let's now move on to our next. We've got a lot of ties in this selection here.
Actually, this is the last tie.
Oh, yeah, I mean, okay, yes, this is the last tie. Here in our 7th place tie, we're going to start with Xico?
Xico.
Gaiato with Ice and Ore. An attempt was made.
Good.
That's pretty good.
Oh, Lord.
We have...
Oh, Lord is what it translates to.
Oh, Lord. We have 5 points from Logan here, 6 points from Brooke, and 6 points from Eduardo. Anissa, do you want to start? Or...
Sure, yeah, I'll start. Again, I enjoy this song, just not enough to give it points. It just kind of fell there. Where in my ranking. I really enjoy actually my favorite part of the song was the drums incorporated. I love how big it gets at towards the end. I think they have a solid voice. I just don't feel vocally that it went a lot of places.
Okay, fair enough. No, I really enjoyed this song. So much so that it just scraped my points. Literally right outside my points. I love the drama in this song. I love the progression towards the end. There's nothing I can really fault this song for. It just missed out, unfortunately.
This was the first song I listened to because I listened to them in like by semifinal by running order.
Okay.
I was very pleasantly surprised, and I was like, this sets a really good tone for me for the overall quality of this Festival da Canção, which I will say overall, very good quality selection, as they typically tend to be here in Portugal. I love Portugal at Eurovision. I found this really, really powerful, and there's a really nice balance in this song between the power of his vocal and the kind of fade out moments that they have, especially like after the choruses. Like there's beautiful transitions in this song that I think really, really add to it. The chanting effect that happens throughout really, really worked for me here as well. What brought it down a little bit lower on my list overall is just that I would like a little bit more lyrical density at the end. But to counter that, I do really like the way that it builds, especially in the last like 30 seconds of the song. It builds really, really nicely. Overall, I think this could be a really good contender. I like it.
I agree with pretty much all of that. The only other thing is I want to add the lyrical content on this.
Is great.
Like, when you look at the translation, ooh girl.
Yeah.
Ooh girl.
Powerful last song.
Powerful song. And when you like, especially considering a lot of these songs didn't have translations on Eurovision World. So the ones that did, I was really hoping I could connect with them a little bit more. And a few of them I could, and this is definitely one of the ones I did connect with more. I really, really enjoy this. And I hope he does well.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what's already been said. I agree with you, Anissa, that the percussion, the drums of it are really, really strong, and I really enjoyed that part. That's also my favorite part of it. I just think this shit is just so dramatic and just right up my alley, and I enjoy everything about it. I also really enjoy the strip back moment that we have near the end. I just think the dynamics of this song are just really good. I don't know. I just think this is such a good song, and it immediately captures your attention. Overall, I just really found myself really enjoying this song. There's just unfortunately songs that I think are better, but this is a good song. This is a really good song.
And I want to add, he's really pretty.
Yes, he is really pretty.
He's really pretty.
Yes.
Anissa's going back for reference.
I'm gonna go.
Anissa's like, let me just.
I don't know how, because I only listen through Spotify, so I did not.
Oh, team. Yeah.
While you go over and thirst over Xico, I'm gonna move on to part 2 of our 7.
Right.
Wake
it up! Come on.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Next, our second half of the 7th place tie, we have Diana Vilarinho with Cotovia.
Yeah. It's lark, like the bird.
Lark, like the bird. Oh, okay. We have a singular point from Anissa, 4 points from both Brooke and Logan, and 8 points from Eduardo, which means I'm the only one here that did not give this points, so I must take the lead.
Shame.
Just felt like rocks, just a bunch of rocks just thrown at my like.
Literally, that one scene from Game of Thrones where like Cersei's being shamed through the streets. You have the one lady behind her just ringing the bell.
I went somewhere completely different.
No, I went to the same place that Brooke did. I immediately went to the bell. Shame.
I'm okay. I'm not. I don't dislike this. Let me make it very clear. I don't dislike this in the slightest. This is very... Okay, I put semi-dramatic. It's not quite giving me the drama other songs are giving me here, but it's semi-dramatic. There's like some off-key backing vocals that sound very intentional, that actually quite works with what they're trying to achieve here. So I enjoy that. I don't know what to say. I just don't think this song piques my interest.
Valid. I did not expect this to be a song you gave points to.
Yeah.
So, meanwhile, all four of us does not surprise me.
Yeah. I gave it a singular point. It gave me almost like a Celtic kind of vibe.
Yes,
I don't know, the
100%.
instrumentation of it all. Also her voice is really cool. Like she's got a really with Portuguese singers, a lot of them have a certain tone where it sounds like they really know how to tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that particularly with Portuguese singers and a couple of the Spanish singers too, and Italians, but just Latin based, I suppose.
It's the romantic language. It's the romantic language.
There it is. Yeah.
Sorry, did you all talk?
No.
Okay.
No.
I was like,
I was gonna let Logan go, but
okay, no, go ahead.
I thought we were going in order. Okay.
Well, we can. Okay, I'll go ahead.
Go for it, Brooke.
Yeah, this was just a really solid entry. I don't want to. This is like if the Meh bucket, right? Imagine the Meh bucket where there's nothing bad. No, hold on. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Okay. Imagine the idea of the Meh bucket, but it's like 3 steps above the Meh bucket, where there's nothing here that's like a particularly standout thing, but everything here is of a higher quality than something that would go in the Meh bucket, right?
It's
like,
levitating above the Meh bucket.
It's not levitating above the Meh bucket. It's like imagine a staircase, and it's like 5 steps above the Meh bucket.
Your analogies are great.
But is it Jujubee's pussy staircase? That's what I would like to know.
That is a very
sure, Jan.
Great, thank you.
But no,
you gotta climb up the pussy staircase.
Wasn't ready for that, to be honest. Besides the point. It's literally the same idea as the Meh bucket, but everything here is just of a higher quality to me. I really enjoy her vocal. Really enjoy the instrumentation. Really enjoy the mixing. Really enjoy the lyrics. Awesome stuff.
Yeah, this is a song obviously that stood out to me because I gave it 4 points. I think what it stood apart, there were a couple of songs in this selection that had a really nice cinematic and almost like mythical effect to the way that they were sung and presented. This is actually the song I am most excited to see staged at Festival da Canção because I think there's a lot, like there could be a lot of really cool things that go on with it. The chanting in the chorus, I think, really adds that kind of like mythical quality to it. There's almost a spoken word effect in the verses that I think is really cool. And then ending it with this like really strong a cappella really sold it for me. I'm really excited to see this live.
Well, I agree with a lot of what's already being said, and that's why I really, really love this song. One thing that hasn't been said, but I really enjoyed, was that I really enjoyed the plucking of the strings. I thought that was really, really good as well. I enjoyed that quite a bit. I just think this song is just dramatic, like with the vocal and the instrumental, and like this kind of Portuguese folky kind of sound. I really enjoyed. The chorus gave me chills, and it just kept growing and growing and growing. The drums also really elevate the song for me, and it makes it feel grand. I agree with you, Logan. I really want to see this staged live. I think it's going to be so fun, and I think it's going to be performed pretty well live. I think it's beautiful. I think it's emotional. I think it's dramatic, and yeah, it's good. It's just really damn good. I really enjoyed this song.
Right, we're gonna move on to our 6th place now. We have Bluay with Ninguém. Thank you. Here we have myself and Anita giving 6 points, Logan giving this 8 points, and Brooke and Eduardo giving this 0 points. I can't say I'm too shocked.
Nope.
I don't think I get it.
Yeah, I don't think I get
Okay.
it either.
Like, I mean, I will admit, and Eduardo and I have a problem on several occasions. We have acknowledged that us and male ballads, hit or miss, mostly miss, and you know what? We're fine with that. I think we have both come to terms with it.
Mhm.
There is a male ballad in the selection that I really like, but this is not the one I really like. It was just another ballad to me. There was nothing that really like grabbed me with it. And it was a fine ballad. It was a perfectly okay ballad. This is the perfectly inoffensive ballad of this selection because, dear God, there are enough ballads to have that award just for the ballad entries. But it's fine.
Yeah, I will say though, I think there is a nice like vocalizing of his voice, and I think the piano is quite nice. It's just unfortunately not something that really holds my attention. But the emotion on his voice is like it really shows, and I think overall it's a good male ballad, and I respect it quite a bit. I just wish it had like more of everything because it's just missing like a winning moment for me that can really hold my attention to really make it stand out, and unfortunately it doesn't have that.
Okay, that's that's fair. First thing I put male ballad, so on paper I should write. I should like this, and I did like it. I love the choir echoing him. I quite enjoyed that effect. Yeah, love his vocal. I'm really interested to know what that speech was towards the end of the song. Like what was going on with the speech at the end? What's happening there? What's that about?
Really fucking dramatic, actually.
Is it?
Word for word, it's the very last verse. Life is the universe's greatest gift, being in a smile, in a teardrop, in a hug, or in a fall. Other than death, there is no barrier that can make it stop. So you can't let any barrier make you stop to enjoy it. Fall, smile, get up, and live.
Okay, love the message of that.
Wow.
That's great.
Love that.
Hey, I have acknowledged this several times on the channel before. There are times where I don't get something, and then I hear it, and I get it a little bit more, and I get it a little bit more. Still not my favorite ballad in the selection, but it's good. I just didn't give it points.
His my only thing is the main reason I see myself attached to male ballads so much is they provoke an emotion out of me. Here, I don't think it quite did that. So that's probably why I don't. I mean, where did I? So I gave it 6 points. So that's probably why it's not higher than that.
Yeah, I kind of beg to differ. I don't know. I thought he conveyed the emotion very well. I think he has a very distinct tone compared to everyone else in this selection. I feel it felt very much like he was kind of taking me on this adventure. Like he's holding my hand and he's taking me on this adventure. I thought, I agree. I thought the backing vocal, this choir doing the call and response thing was really cool. I just thought overall it was beautifully composed, excuse me.
I just love this. Like I listened to the song while having the lyrics up. This is probably the most powerful song lyrically in this selection for me personally. It hit me like a ton of bricks. I think his vocal is so good. The piano intro is really cool. I just think it all works. Like there's the little like call and response that happens in the chorus, I think is also really strong. I just think it's a really, really damn good song.
Sweet. So yeah, let's move on to our 5th place. We have Fernando Daniel with Medo.
Medo.
We have Eduardo giving us 2 points here, 7 points from Brooke, 12 points from Anissa. Anissa's 12 points here, and nothing from me and Logan.
And I'm a little bit surprised I didn't give this points upon reflection. I actually do enjoy this song a lot. I think the softness is really good. It builds nicely. His high notes at the end are really good. There was just nothing that completely stood out to me overall. Like, it was good. It's a very solid song. Yeah. I'm not mad at it. Maybe I should have given it like a point or two, but like, I'm not mad at it.
Again, I mean, I'll agree. I'm not mad at it. I just, there was not a lot I could say about this, to be honest. It was not bad. It was not great. Just generally middle of the road. there was nothing like you've mentioned, Logan. There was nothing stand out. There's nothing I could pick out and be like, yeah, I didn't like that. But there was nothing that I could be like, oh, I love that. So that's all I can say. It was just middle of the road for me.
Okay. Well, I think it's really nice. I think the guitar in the song is really nice, and I think he has some really buttery, smooth vocal, and I think it builds a lot on the pre-chorus as well. And when it hits, it really hits really hard, but it kind of drops it a little bit, which is my only critique that I have with this song. It does quickly like pick it up right again, but like the drops are really sudden, and it took me a little bit out of the fantasy. But even still, there's still a lot that I like about this song, and near the end, when it really picks up the way that I wanted to, is really what I wanted to hear, and really what made me like it a lot. Yeah, and in the end, like I was shocked by how much I liked this song. In the end, like I was not expecting myself to like it as much as I did, but it's a good song. It's really good. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I really like this song. It gave me some religious vibes. Fine with me. Don't have an issue with that. Not my vibe, but totally serviceable. And I think the really interesting part of this for me, one is also a well-established trope on this podcast. If it has a piano as the musical base, I'm gonna like it a lot. And the song has piano as the musical base, which means I'm gonna like it a lot. But also, his vocal was fantastic. I think all of that really tied together into a nice package. Also, he is very pretty.
Very pretty.
Didn't give him any extra points for the pretty, but I could have.
I did see how he looked after I listened to the song. I love the song. He's got a really cool tone to his voice. Like, we get to start in the mid range, and then later on he goes into this very clean high bell, which very much impressed me. And then I love the way he uses his falsetto, because his falsetto has like a whispery, airy tone to it, which I very much gravitate towards. I feel like hearing this live would be very powerful. It's kind of an opposite approach, but same effect as like Ninguém, where Ninguém is very kind of subtle to a degree, but Fernando kind of goes the opposite, goes on the contrary, and goes kind of this huge power ballad kind of moment. I can tell he's giving everything he can into this song.
Sweet. Right, let's move on to our fourth place. Just missing out on our podium, metaphorical podium. We have Capital da Bulgária with Lisboa, which is Portuguese for Lisbon. We have 2 points from Logan and Brooke, 7 points from Eduardo, 12 points from me. This is my 12 points. And Anissa, you gave it nothing. So, Anissa.
Shame.
Did you all clock why her stage name is Capital de Bulgária?
Oh yeah.
No.
Oh yeah.
Because her name is Sophia.
Oh.
I live.
Yeah. We have a Sophie, and now we have Sophie A.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mint.
Yeah. Now I do like this song. It felt like I mentioned with Fernando about this kind of breathy, airy kind of voice. That's kind of the main thing I really enjoyed about this too. It felt very ethereal, which I really enjoyed. I just didn't feel like it went anywhere like beyond that. That's just me. That's just me.
Fair.
Well, this was one of those songs that I feel like I could have given it anywhere from 2 to 4 points, and I would have been satisfied with that.
Yep.
Yeah. I really like the idea of this song a lot, and like the lyrical content here. Gives me some really interesting stuff that I didn't really expect from it when it started. Her vocal is consistent, and I very much appreciate a consistently good vocal. The big problem I have with it is I wish the instrumentation kind of went a little bit more, just a tiny bit more, because it kind of got into that soothing era, which is fine. But soothing doesn't really wow me, if you know what I mean, after a while. Like, if you're setting a vibe and then you, like, ramp up the vibe, awesome. But it was just kind of the same vibe the entire time. But I did really enjoy it still. I just ramp up the instrumentation a smidge and we're on the same page.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think it could have... I really would have liked if the powerful moments hit a little bit harder and then the softer moments kind of felt a little bit softer. Everything was kind of on like a bit of a similar note melodically, but that note I really like. This is very sweetly sung. There's definitely like this like longing effect to the song that I really like. The lyrics are great. The lovely build in the second verse really hooked me. I kind of honestly exactly agree with Brooke. Like I could have given this anywhere in like the lower half of my top 10 and I would have been okay with that. It did land at 2 points for me though, and I think it's lovely and sweet.
Wonderful. Well, first things first, I love the name of this artist, and now that I know that her name is Sophia, I love it even more. I just think that the instrumental for me is really gorgeous. It really works for me. And I think the breathy vocals, normally breathy vocals are not something that I enjoy, but I think she really works it and it makes it work with the song, which I quite enjoyed. It adds like a nice beat in the second verse so that the flow is still dynamic and like dramatic as well. I think the echo in her voice is also quite nice. The song is just really pretty. Like that's the only way I can describe it. Just really pretty. It makes me feel really like romantic, and like filled with emotion. Like this song gave me chills near the end, and I think that's a good thing. Like for a ballad to do for me. Overall, yeah, really good song, really pretty. I enjoyed a lot about this.
Yeah, I just fucking love this. Everything about this felt so. I mean, the vocal was silky smooth. The production was incredible. It felt quite heavenly, to be honest, and I really enjoyed that aspect of it. I felt like I was being taken on a journey. I'm quite hit or miss with female ballads. I'm quite opposite to Eduardo, where if it's a male ballad, I really enjoy it. If it's female ballad, it's got to be done a certain way for me to really enjoy it. But I really enjoyed this. I'd be very happy if this got sent. But I'll be also very happy if another song got sent, and we'll get there soon enough. Let's move on to our third place. We have Peculiar with Adamastor. Adamastor. We have this is, I believe, our first song where we're all placing it on our points somewhere. We have Brooke with 1 point. Logan gave it 3 points. Anita gave it 7. I gave it 8, and Eduardo gave it 10 for 29 altogether.
Yeah, it was refreshing, and I can give it this. That is my biggest compliment I can give it. after hearing so many ballads. It was refreshing and nice to not have to hear a ballad again. But also, my biggest problem with it is probably the exact thing you are going to expect me to have a problem with. Anytime there are digital effects on the vocal, I worry when you're going to a live performance. That is not the reason I dislike it. That is just my biggest issue, my biggest concern. I actually do enjoy it still. I hope that his vocal is great when it's live. I think everything else here was really interesting and really unique, especially in this selection. There was nothing else that sounded like this. And, historically, that's a good thing in Portugal. So hopefully it translates really well on stage.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see the stages as well. What hit me immediately is its low register is really smooth and buttery. And I really appreciated that. It's not always something we get from singers that have a very strong lower register. So I did really appreciate that. I classified this song kind of as like mythical rap. Like, it's interesting. It's peculiar, one could say. The vibe is good. I think it's really strong lyrically. I like it.
Yeah. I really enjoyed this. For one thing, it's different than all the ballads. I just really love how it kind of captivates you from the beginning. I like you mentioned before, I really enjoyed that like baritone voice. I love the surprise of kind of this electronic twist, and I do agree with the concern of how it's going to be live, but based on the studio, I did really enjoy that part. I really enjoyed how the bridge was. I think that was kind of my favorite part. And as well, I really enjoyed the drums that came in towards the end of the song.
I love this. There was like a switch up at the start that kind of caught me off guard, but I loved it. It sounds like March music, somewhat. It's like some sort of March electro pop mashup thing. I don't know. There's so much. This song is loaded with drama, and I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it.
I didn't go for March. I went more like closer to mythical. I went with like
Mythical,
fantasy
mythical,
adventure,
yes,
or like pirate-esque something about it.
I think that's what I was trying to go
pirate-esque.
for. I just couldn't think of the right words at the time.
Yeah, I agree with you. The switch up, I think, is really good from this very haunting intro with a really deep and rich vocal to something that really picks up and feels really dramatic and grand. The production, I think, is really strong, and the percussion, I think, is also really, really powerful. Like, truly the MVPs of the song, the percussion. It's just a song that's right up my alley, and yet another song that I'm just so excited to see on stage. If this were to go to Eurovision, I think it would do really well. Like, I would be really happy if this were to go to Eurovision. However, it is not the one that I would send to Eurovision. There's another one that I would send to Eurovision, and we'll get to it soon enough.
All right. Well, it's got to be one of two songs. Let's find out if it's our second place. Second, it's probably not.
It's not second.
Oh, it's definitely not second.
Right. Logan and Eduardo are on the same page on this one, and
yeah. Second place in our Festival da Canção 2025 ranking, we have Josh with Tristeza. Yeah, no one corrected me. Okay, Eduardo gave it 5 points. Anissa gave it 8 points. Brooke and Logan both gave it 10 points. And I gave it nothing.
Shame.
And you know what the worst thing is? I didn't write an awful lot because I didn't expect us to have to cover this.
When you do clownery, Lewis.
The clown bites back.
I
Lewis's
mean,
take on this belongs in the bucket. Damn.
I just found it quite boring.
You found it quite boring.
I honestly I could not care for this. There was nothing in this song that I could really sink my teeth into. And I feel, I do feel like a clown because I'm sure I'm missing something because it's our second place.
Yeah, you're a little bit wild. As someone that didn't like have this in their top 3, like I still like a lot about this song. Like it's wild to me. I think this is really, really pretty. The instrumentals and the vocals are really, really good. And for a male ballad, I like a lot about the song. Or well, when it starts, it's like male ballady. Maybe it's the build that it has, like how and like I really like how it kind of drip feeds us all the drama that like we get by the second chorus. And it feels huge by that time. It's just a really good song. I will say I would like a little bit more of like vocal gymnastics because I really think he could really pull it off. I think he could do some ad-libbing and some longer notes to make it even more dramatic. But overall, I think this is a really good song with a lot to like sink your teeth into. And there's a lot about this that I really enjoy.
I'd like to sink my teeth into him.
Oh,
I mean, that too. That too.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. I originally I had this at 12, and then I kind of did a bit of last minute switching after listening to kind of a recap. He's got a beautiful voice. And once he gets into kind of some of those higher notes given the song, I thought his voice opened up really nicely. I thought the instrumentation was beautiful. He sells that emotion. He sells the emotion very well as well. The runs is very much what sold me. I just really loved kind of the adventure this took me on from his voice alone.
This is beautiful. It just like that is the number one word I wrote down is just absolutely beautiful. The softness in the first verse and then the chorus is so good and then it builds really beautifully. The way it fades out too is just really good. And the whole time, like the whole song is just talking about his sadness. And so I like that it builds in this really dramatic way. I think if staged right and if performed right on the stage, I think this could win Eurovision, honestly. Like, I just really love this.
Yeah, this song hit me like a truck.
Same.
Yeah. Specifically, I'm reading the English translation here because, dear Lord, I would butcher the Portuguese version. I pretended to be blind. I caressed my ego. I left in the past. The well-kept laughed. And so I lie down naked on the floor. Only solitude wants to hold my hand.
Jesus.
Wow.
Holy like this has been a season of ballads finding ways to smack me across the mouth. And yet another example. Thank you, Portugal. I mean, I suppose in your field of like at least 12 ballads, I feel like you had to get at least one smack in there, but you did it. You nailed it. This song is great. This song is incredible. His vocal is beautiful. The meaning hit me pretty deep. And I think this could do really well at show. I hope if my 12 points does not go, I think this is the one that I think will do the best for Portugal.
Yeah.
And finally, first place of Festival da Canção, which I am very shocked that I'm saying this. I'm very, very shocked that I'm saying this.
After listening to 19 songs in Portuguese, we all collectively agreed that the one fucking song in English is the one we like the most.
It's Henker with I Wanna Destroy You.
You pronounced that one great, Lewis.
Good job,
you.
Lou!
Well done,
Yay!
For context, Anita and I gave this 10 points each. Brooke, Eduardo, and Logan all gave it 12 points each. I am very happy with this. I was so prepared to come in here and defend this on my own. So I'm glad I don't have to do that. Anita, do you want to start?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think this is a masterfully written song. Amazingly composed. The vocals are vocaling. It was the whisper immediately into the heavy guitars. And then I loved all the screaming that was going on. And then kind of that cherry on top. Her singing in that full voice was very clean, which kind of shocked me given all the screaming. I just hope this is performed well live.
I mean, this is everything me. This is poppy energy. This is baby metal energy. This is all of that. I needed this kind of metalcore / post-hardcore in Eurovision that I don't think I've seen in Eurovision before. I might be wrong. I think
the closest we've gotten is Bambi Thug.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, even then, I don't find that to be particularly close here.
I don't
Right.
either, but that is kind of the, unless I'm forgetting a reference from like 15, 20 years ago, like this is definitely the closest I think we've gotten.
Right. This kind of reminds me of recent Bring Me the Horizon. Recently, they've gone into this like more electro / deathcore, whatever you call it. I love this. This is everything that I live for, and I really, really want to see how they stage this.
I mean, when I heard the lineup, I saw the title of the song, and I was immediately so curious about this song. And like coming in, this was the one that I was like, I'm keeping my eye on this one, and it immediately caught my attention with that whisper into the immediate, really heavy guitar and screaming. I think her range is just absolutely crazy. It's like so dramatic, and the song like it's just so good. It's insane. Like it's the guitar is dramatic as fuck. Like normally I like when Portugal sends songs in Portuguese, and like when I hear songs in English in Festival da Canção, I normally get really put off by them. But this one is so interesting and so good. And if we learned anything from Bambi Thug, is that this type, like anything that's kind of metal-ish, can do really well in Eurovision. And so if this were to go to Eurovision, I think it could do really well. And so it's so different. It's so cool. I think it's going to really stand out. And if this wins, it's going to be so unique that it could do really, really well in Eurovision.
Portugal 2026. Woo!
I could see it.
I could see it.
So this is the closest we've had to hard rock representation at Eurovision. I mean, outside of Bambi Thug, which again, very different vibe coming from that, that I've heard since I've been a Eurovision fan. Obviously we have people like Lordi, but it's a very different type of hard rock. This kind of gives me artists like Trivium. This is giving me artists like a little bit of Megadeth, a little bit of like old school Iron Maiden's energy. Like
there's like a little touch of Avenged Sevenfold.
A smidge, and it's
like
more in the instrumentation. It's more
Definitely.
the instrumentation. Yeah.
The instrumentation took me back to that part of my musical experience for sure.
Yeah. Vocally though, very like Trivium adjacent. If you haven't listened to Trivium, I highly recommend. Yeah, my roommate was not in here when I listened to the songs. He just looked over me because he loves Trivium. So yeah, like that's really the energy I'm getting. The growls on this are so healthy. And getting a hard rock vocal with a clean growl is undeniably one of the most difficult parts of the genre. The growls were perfect. The vocal tone was outstanding. I'm just gonna read my notes. Oh, this is a total serve. Hell yes.
Yeah.
What else do you want from me? This is perfect. I want this to go to Eurovision because, dear Lord, this is the kind of rock entry that can do really good numbers and it can win. Like, we saw how close Bambi got last year, and that was with all of the other mess going on with Bambi. And no shade to Bambi. I'm just saying in general, like, they were a little bit more controversial than I think this would be if it went. So I mean, Bambi got 5th in my mind, and you know what?
Bambi got 5th. What are you talking
Bambi
about?
got 5th, exactly. Bambi got 5th. So Bambi got 5th, and I mean, this could win. This could win with the right staging. This could win.
Truly,
this would be such a gag from Portugal of all countries.
Oh,
that
right.
I kind of want to see it. Like that's a lot. Like I gave this 12 points because I think overall, hands down, in every single aspect of this song, this is the best song of this selection. Like I literally wrote, okay, this goes hard, and then okay, the softness of the second verse. What is happening? This is so fucking cool. Like I just went on a full experience with this song, and it really, honestly, we keep making the Bambi Thug comparison, but I think it's a decent enough comparison given, you know, Eurovision of the past 5 years, especially. I remember like listening to this song reminded me of listening to Doomsday Blue for the first time and being like, this is such a really cool entry. I think this would be really cool. I am less concerned about Portugal qualifying out of their semifinal because they are in what seems to be the more completely sporadic, everything so far is completely different from everything else semifinal.
AKA semifinal 1.
AKA semifinal 1, where I think a lot of different things could work for Portugal here. And there are a couple songs that I think would do really, really well. This would just be a gag because it's from Portugal. And it is not out of the realm of possibility for the Portuguese public to send a song in English. It happened 4 years ago. So I don't know. I think this would be really cool to send.
Are we speaking of Love Is On My Side here? Yes.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, okay. Great song, by the way. Love the staging for that, too.
Love that song.
My side. All right.
Also,
All right.
quick note while we're on the subject of Love Is On My Side. That staging, someone needs to copy that by now. I cannot believe no one has done that since then. Because that staging is so cool. Sorry, ranting, moving on.
Brilliant. Well, that covers Festival da Canção. Do you agree with our takes? Who do you think's the dark horse? Who do you think that we need to keep our eyes on? Let us know in the comments below. If not Festival da Canção, if you want to delve into the rest of our coverage, we have the rest of the national final season. We've covered most of it already. Check out our other videos on the channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. And with that being said, Europe, Australia, rest of the world, Faroe Islands, stop watching and go find another video of ours. Thank you and goodbye.
Cheers.
Cheers.